Hey Heifers, and welcome to Angus IT, the podcast all about anxiety, depression, and then literally everything in my life changing in the span of 2 weeks. I did not have an episode last week. I apologize, especially after my comeback episode where I was like, I'm here, I'm excited. Well, things happened unexpectedly. If you listened in that last episode, I was like, I'm recording this on July 24th. Like, I don't know what's happening. Yeah, so I got a job and then I moved. All kind of unexpectedly, or just things moved faster than I guess I could have anticipated. To be fair, I like to put things off. So things like the move had kind of been talked about, but I wasn't like for sure if I was going to do it or not. And then it was like, yeah, okay, this is happening. I have a week and a half to get everything changed, like downsizing my entire apartment. I now live with my best friend. I have a roomie now, and I haven't had a roommate in a hot second. I had to get rid of a lot of things, which was really freeing, to be honest. Like, I realized I just had a lot of junk. And then on top of all of that, I had the job, which was unexpected. So I'm going to be working part-time at a library. And this was during my applying to all jobs crazy week that I had. And I had thought about part-time jobs. Oh my gosh, people work at libraries. Like, libraries are a thing, and you don't have to be a librarian to work at a library. And so kind of on a whim, I applied, and I was like, that would be really cool. And then I got an interview, and I was like, well, oh dang. And then I interviewed, and then the same day they were like, you got it. And I was like, oh wow, this was not, okay, cool. Like, I wasn't really expecting this. It's not like I had thought about this for months. This had just been like a week before thing where I thought it'd be a cool fit, and then it was happening. My first day was last Friday, and it just ever since then, I think I've been trying to catch up. So yeah, you're going to hear some echoes because I'm in a new office. I haven't set up my sound panels. So just get used to me just echoing in your ears. It's going to be like we're in a magic, beautiful cave. So yeah, my life's been chaotic, and this episode's going to be chaotic because I haven't really sat down and digested anything. And I also have a couple of plans for things I could talk about. But I think I just need to chat. And so we're just going to have a rambly episode, classic Angus IT. I thought I would feel a lot more when I moved, and I had lived in the same place for 3 years. If you follow me on Instagram at AngusIT, you would see that my stories were constantly filled with the walks I would take with Fern around my neighborhood, which was filled with wildlife. I have 3 alligators, I think, that I adopted, without them knowing, but they were mine, my emotional support alligators. We had all the wildlife. Fern had her dog walking friends. I was very used to that. When I moved here, that was the first place I had. I haven't lived in another section of town. So there was just a lot of things where I was very comfortable. It was also the longest stretch I've lived in the same place since my adult life. So very weird, very ingrained, very used to it. I knew I was going to move when my lease let up just because it was going to get too expensive, but that was supposed to be in May. I had a long time before that was going to be a thing. And at that point, I was thinking about maybe moving towns, but I didn't have any of it planned out because I didn't know what my job would be. And I didn't know if it would be local or if it'd be remote, what any of that looked like. So I had just supremely put that off and let it out of my head because I was stressing about it. And I was like, there's no point. I don't know what's happening. So I was pretty set on yeah, I'm going to be here for a while. And, I had my grocery store I went to. I was right by a park. I knew the stores. I knew the routes, how to get around town. So I thought when I moved across town to a place I don't really know well at all, I couldn't tell you a single landmark I'm by at this point, and I'm heavily reliant on Waze right now to get me to anywhere. It's really cute, fun time. So I thought I would be feeling a lot more sad and nostalgia, and I was kind of having these moments while I was packing. I was like, oh, I'm not going to get to walk around anymore, but I kind of shut that down because I think I was romanticizing what could have been, but never would have been, if that makes sense. So I used to live by the beach, and I was like, oh, I'll never be close to the beach again. I never went to the beach. It was always crowded, and I didn't really love the beach I was near. So it's one thing to romanticize and be like, oh, this will have been the apartment where I was right by the beach. Well, I didn't go. Like that's a cool thing, but like it clearly didn't affect my life. And then it's like, oh, I won't have my alligators anymore. Well, congratulations. Alligators are everywhere, and also life moves on, and I don't really need alligators. Like if anything, it'd probably be nice to not have terrifying reptilians roaming around. And just other things, like I was just kind of going through and being like, maybe do I need to feel sad that I'm leaving this place that was mine for 3 years and all the things that happened there? But, I think for the first time in my life, I just didn't have that. And it's not like I didn't appreciate the place. It's not like I hated it and I was like, oh, dear God, get me out of here. I just was like, you know what? I think this move makes sense. And I haven't had a really solid feeling like that in a very long time, I would say. But I also haven't had a big life change in a while, aside from me quitting my job. But I mean, I was still in the same place and I had some of the same ideas, I guess, about where my life was going to go at that point. So I think in a way I was just really welcome to change. I think I was ready. I had already been thinking like, hey, you know what? I needed to live by myself for a while, but I'm kind of ready for human interaction. Like I used to think that I was destined to just be alone sometimes. Like what I mean by that is like I would go hang out with friends and then I'd come home and I'd be like, me hanging out with people is just a distraction from my true reality of being a sad, miserable person. So, that's not helpful. And I didn't think that all the time, but I think I was like, oh, how do people always have these fun little stories about like, they're doing, I don't know, conversations. I don't really know how to put it, but basically like if you're not with another human, those things can't happen. You don't have those happenstances of like, yeah, we randomly went to Walmart at midnight and bought bubbles. I don't know. Doesn't happen as much if you live alone. I'm not going to go to Walmart by myself at midnight for many reasons, but it just occurred to me that like I'm not copping out by hanging out with people or having a roommate to face the true harsh reality I have to do. Like that's not how it works. Like some people people aren't really meant to be alone in that sense. Like you can totally live alone, don't get me wrong, but it's not like I was seeing people on a daily basis for a while. And I think for me, I reached a point where I was like, I think I'm ready to have another human around casually. Also, my roommate's Cameron Union. If you recall her, she's been on the podcast many times, mostly the Christmas specials. So yeah, we're roomies now. She has a dog, so Fern has a best friend to play with, and she loves Cameron and she loves Hazel. So they are living it up. Fern has a backyard now, which she heavily enjoys. I will no longer be walking Fern, which I thought I'd also miss, but like I can still walk my dog. That's not gone. I can still make that choice. And to be honest, right now, I'm kind of living for not having to walk around in public at like 7 a.m. looking like a hot mess. Like, it's nice to be a hot mess in the backyard without anybody seeing me. Like, I don't feel as bad about it. So yeah, moving, and I think a part of it is like, I don't think it's hit yet. Like, I honestly feel like I'm at an Airbnb. Like, this doesn't really feel like my life. And again, not in a bad way. I don't think my brain has fully registered that like, this is where you live now. It's like, oh, okay. Well, cool. Anyway, it's just kind of like weird. And I'm sure I'll have updates as like time goes by, but yeah, just for now, it doesn't feel real. My room is very cozy. I thought I would miss all the space I had in my old apartment, but honestly, I think having space doesn't necessarily mean you have like good interior design, like just being like, oh, look at all this room I have. I didn't have enough shit to fill it. And even then it just felt very empty and like I didn't like the things I had, but like now in this room, it's smaller, but it's really cozy and it all works together. Like I can't believe it's the same things that I own. And now it looks really cozy. And I'm sure you'll be seeing that in my Insta stories a lot from here on out. But yeah, that's the story on my move. I don't know. Sorry, guys, I'm a little tired. My orientation starts at 8 a.m. and I have to wake up at 6:45 a.m. and I haven't woken up before 8 a.m. in like a year and a half. So this is like new for me. Probably healthy for me as well. Let me tell you what it's like to leave your house and go do work. It's a nice break. I see why people go get jobs. No, it's been really nice so far. I haven't gotten to work at the library yet. I'm just doing orientation. So basically I have one orientation and then I'm going to start doing the things and basically probably just like be very confused, which I'm looking forward to. It will be nice to use my brain to solve problems and learn new things. So yeah, the job. My goodness, I have a job. again, that hasn't fully come through. Like, I feel like I'm studying abroad and then at some point moving on to the next thing. Like, this is such a, like, I mean, I guess I don't know what I thought would happen. But if you had told me a year ago, or even, 8 months ago, if you had told me I'm going to end up moving and I'm going to work for the library, I would have been like, oh, that seems wrong. That's weird. But I am, and it all fits. I think that's been the weirdest thing throughout all of this, is that everything made sense. Like, it felt like it was a quick decision. I worried for a little bit that it was just a knee-jerk reaction, but it was, I don't know, just I had a gut instinct where I was like, this feels right. Like, everything is lining up in a way that I don't think it would have happened normally. Like, it just felt very organic. The moving day itself, any moving day is moderately stressful. I drove a 15-foot U-Haul through downtown Charleston, and those streets were originally made for wagons, not giant trucks, let alone me driving a giant truck, which I'd never done before. I have a Honda, so I'm like a tiny little bean. So it was just like really interesting to deal with. But I lived. I did it with the help of my beautiful, beautiful friends who joined me in the U-Haul and were there for me emotionally, because I definitely had a lot of like screaming. I'd be like, oh boy, we're close, and like going over bridges. I had 3 lanes and I was like, I definitely can't pass one truck, and I couldn't see changing lanes at points. It was fun. Anyway, we were able to like move in and out. I figured that out in a week and a half. My beautiful friends also set up like my room, helped me with the office. Cameron continued to like push me to unpack things when normally I would have waited like 3 months before bothering. So that was very helpful. See, we're already balancing it out. My favorite thing was when I told people I'm moving in with Cameron. My dog loves Cameron. It's kind of hilarious to watch. And so everyone would say, oh my gosh, that's so exciting. Fern gets to move in with her best friend. Like, I would tell them the move and they'd be excited for my dog. No one ever talked about me, which, to be honest, fair. We all care more about Fern. I get it. I'm happy for her too. This move is actually more about her than me. I'm the baggage. I'm the secondary person coming into this. Fern was the main person coming into this house. I still don't know like what's happening in my life, to be honest, but I feel like so many new things have happened that it's like a new path of my life I had never considered, and it's calming for once. Like, I just feel calm. Like, I'm still like a little anxious about some things. Like, I was very anxious my first day because new building, meeting new people, wondering how dumb I am when it comes to orientation. But things have been fine. Everyone at the library, by the way, like the nicest people I've ever come across. And so far, orientation has been like some of the best orientation I've ever had. Like, I'm actually learning things. And I feel like sometimes orientation is just like, you can figure this out as you go. So I really enjoy it. I really appreciate that. That's nice. I'm sure at some point when all of this hits me, I'll just have a panic attack for no reason, because that's just how it goes. Or maybe not. I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't throw that out there. But I really like the people I'm working with or adjacently. I guess I haven't like technically met my team yet, but I have. Everyone seems amazing. Also, they're like, you can totally dye your hair. And now I'm tempted to like dye my hair a crazy color. Like, I don't know. Maybe I'll get like pink tips or something. That sounds fun. So that's just a whole, it's so, I don't have the words. It's just like, I'm very happy. I'm happy confused. I'm happily confused. Or maybe I am excited. I feel like to go with the library thing, I feel like I've started reading a new adventure novel, but it's my life and I truly don't know what's happening next, but it's actually exciting stuff versus scary gloom and doom, terrifying fog of the unknown. Dear God, what is happening to my life? Which I felt at the beginning of last month. So look how far we've come. I definitely feel happier. I'm having my groceries delivered, which I'm very excited about. I can't find my phone right now though, which could be a problem because they need to text me. But that's like a stressor I can deal with later. Like, worst case scenario, they'll find the house maybe, or I'll just order food. Oh, what a shame, Chipotle. I have to have Chipotle. Oh my God, that's like such a problem for me. Aside from that, I guess everything's kind of same old, same old. I am really looking forward to it not being disgustingly hot. August is kind of like August and September are the worst months, I think, in South Carolina because it's just incredibly humid and disgusting. And we're also approaching spider season where banana spiders make webs everywhere and you just walk into them constantly. I don't know what that'll be like for me now though, that there's a yard and I don't have to walk everywhere. That is another thing. Walking my dog was my main source of exercise. So I probably need to come up with something to replace that. And I've just been eating a lot of chips out of stress. Or excessive happiness. Let's go with that. I'm not stressed. I'm just seeking excessive happiness. That's totally fine to say. Oh no. Sorry, I honestly don't recall where I was in my talking, so if I stop mid-sentence, that's my bad. I'll have it more together next week. What else can I say? So I'm working part-time, which means I have this open free time to either freelance things or work on my own projects. And now that I live with another human, Cameron and I are very good at pushing each other to follow our dreams because we like doing it for other people. But when it comes to ourselves, we're like, oh no, I don't want to do that. So, I share an office with her. So I feel like her working will make me work. And I also can't get away with being a depressing, lazy ass. I'm allowed to do that. I can do that in my room, but I can't get away with my bad habits in that sense. And I'm very excited about that because I need that sort of motivator. And Cameron doesn't have to do anything aside from exist. And then I already feel like I'm doing better in terms of maintaining hygiene. It's very obvious that I will not have showered for a few days if I live with someone. So, these are really just good things to know. I learned a lot of fun things about the library. Apparently with a library card, at least in my branch, we get the New York Times for free. What? I don't know. I'm very excited about that. We have t-shirt and jeans Fridays, but it's very unclear to me if the t-shirts have to be book related because someone in orientation asked that question. And I didn't understand because I don't casually own book related t-shirts. I thought it could be any t-shirt, maybe not something super go buy this brand or anything political, but I don't what kind of t-shirt can I wear? So moderately stressed about that as well because I'm dumb. So I guess I don't have to wear a t-shirt if I don't want to. It just seems like a fun thing. Let's see, last thing. So I have a second podcast, Sloshbucklers. If you didn't know, I started it back in April and I really love it. I love doing it and I have 3 episodes recorded. I just suddenly got struck with perfectionist, terrifying paralyzation. Is that even a word? What the hell did I just say? I became creatively paralyzed to edit the next episode, and it was supposed to release in May, and we are now in August. And it's been weighing on me each week that passes. I just feel like a failure, and I feel like I abandoned this podcast that was really fun. So I'm going to start editing that this week as well because it is something I want to do. And I kind of forgot that I like it and it's not, I don't know, I realized I still have time to do it. And I think that taking up all these things again, having a job that's a schedule and I'm interacting with people and I get to perform kind of thing, tasks and duties and help people out. I think that that's going to be really helpful for me getting brain juice ideas to then put into other things. But yeah, I'm going to stop rambling now. I realized that was kind of all over the place. I don't even know if I said anything, but I just wanted to at least minimally provide you an update about where I am and what's going on. I think next week I did record an episode and it's about this thing I call the canoe theory. And it's about what it's like to have the emotional temperature that you experience change as you slowly work on yourself, go to therapy, maybe get the right diagnosis, and understanding what it means when people ask you if you're okay and you're not sure how to answer it because your okay might be someone's not okay. Don't know if that made sense, but I'll be talking about that in next week's episode, hypothetically, hopefully, fingers crossed, my friends. Until then, thanks for listening to this episode. I've had a lot of weird, rambly episodes, but this one might take the cake, in which case, here's your slice. Enjoy. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at AngusIT. Again, Instagram, I'm usually on the most, and my stories are usually bopping and bumping and slapping. I'm going to stop. That's weird. It's not a bop it. It's just my face and my dog mostly. I have a website, www.angusit.com. I also have an email, angusit@gmail.com. I have a Patreon, patreon.com/angusit. My DMs are always open. I love chatting with you. And I hope that, whatever fuckery has been thrown in your life, good, bad, chaotic, I hope you just take it in stride. For me, compartmentalizing, Jesus, there we go. For me, I can't say it, fuck it. Putting things in boxes and not thinking about them all at the same time in my brain was really helpful. I used to think it was denial, but then I was like, no, it's just being in the present, which is different. So feel free to do that, and I hope you're able to find that and get through it. And maybe not everything has to be stressful if you think it's supposed to be stressful. Anyway, I wish you all the best, and with that, I will talk to you next Wednesday. Bye, Heifers.